Some supporters of the deposed Emir of Kano, Bayero, took to the streets on Sunday, demanding that he be reinstated as the Emir. Arise correspondent Ayo Adenaye reports.
Before the supporters commenced their peaceful protest, they first held a solemn prayer seeking the intervention of God over the lingering matter of who controls the Kano emirate. The prayer was observed at the frontage of the Mainasara Palace that houses Emir Bayero, with security operatives ensuring its peaceful conduct. After the prayer, the supporters set out for the protest. The protest, which was meant to be peaceful, suddenly resulted into violence, with the youth setting bonfires, thereby creating tension within the metropolis. The supporters say they are out in solidarity with the deposed Emir, Bayero.
What is really happening here is well known in the world that the citizens of Kano, some part of them, the minority part of them, are supporting other side which they have not complied with the court order, while those here standing, as you can see, they are demonstrating and showing their concern over the removal and the government that has not obeyed the court order, which, as you can see, they are writing, they are saying is court order that brought them to the government. And now they have failed to abide by the court order.
They appealed to Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi to obey the court order that restrained its installation as the 16th Emir of Kano.
My stand, let the government abide by the rules and regulations governing the land. Any rectification in the constitution where can somebody express his view and established a case upon you, and under that establishment there was a court order, so you abide by and understand what is the legal proceeding tendered on under that court order. So after understanding the tenderance, you can go and rectify, because such a thing has happened in the previous administration.
Meanwhile, all is calm at the palace of Emir Sanusi Lamido as his supporters remain vigilant. Ayo Adenaye, Arise News Kano.
Joining us now is Mainasara Kogo Umar, an international affairs analyst and a member of the Kogo royal dynasty in Katsina. Thank you very much for joining us, Mainasara Umar. Good morning.
It's always my honor to contribute in nation building. Thank you.
Well, very quickly, there is turmoil in Kano. Some people say crisis, some people say chaos, some people say there is a threat of a likely breakdown of law and order. What is your take? Where do you think the parties involved got it wrong? Where do you think they got it right?
Well, let me start with the clip I just watched. They are talking about the need for reinstatement of Emir Bayero as deposed Emir. Those two statements are wrong. Number one, Bayero is not deposed. Number two, there is no question of reinstatement. Let me clinically x-ray and analyze the whole thing in summary. First of all, the State Assembly decided to amend the law that established, to abrogate the law that established the 4 additional emirate councils in Kano State. In that, they have the right to do it under sections 4 and 11 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But there is a fundamental breach there, because under section 14, subsection 1, sovereignty belongs to the people. And there is a fundamental thing in legislative practice, what is called public hearing. They deliberately omitted public hearing in that exercise. And as a result of which, some people rushed to the court, demanded that the implementation of the outcome of that exercise should be halted by the court. And that was what led to the issue of the court order restraining the implementation of that particular legislation. Now, in that, whenever there is any court order, you must respect the hegemony of the institution of the judiciary under Section 6, Sections 230 to 304 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where you are not in consonance with the court order. The best thing for you to do is to go and first of all, to implement the order. Secondly, you go and challenge or vacate the court order. That is the thing you should do in decorum, not refusal to respect the court order. Now, in flagrant refusal to respect the court order, a notice of 48 hours ejection was given to the emirs that they should leave the palaces within a period of 48 hours, which is a misnomer. Because you are entitled, the emirs are entitled to be informed what are the articles of their offense first to merit that they should evict themselves within 48 hours. They have not been informed up to this moment what are the articles of their offense. They have not been informed. And apart from that, they have the sanctity of fundamental rights to be guaranteed by the citizens, by the government for them. Under Section 33, 34, 35, up to Sections 44 of the Constitution, they have unavailance of fundamental rights. Therefore, there is Section 34 that talks about the respect to human dignity. They ought to be given the respect and dignity within a leverage of reasonable time, within which they should be able to package their things and get out of the monarch houses. But notwithstanding, His Excellency the Governor decided to consult, that was the word used, the kingmakers, instead of allowing the kingmakers to do their exercise by selecting 3 candidates that will be presented before His Excellency the Governor, out of which the Governor has the leverage to decide on one he will pick. But the Governor decided to consult them in so-called reinstatement of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, which makes the whole thing is unicentral to a particular person. And unicentral to a particular person is contrary to Sections 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, and 24 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that talks about the impossibility of you to, derogate some other people in favor of another person in the context of the management of affairs in Nigeria. And immediately that one was done, without even giving His Excellency, His Highness Sanusi Lamido, the staff of office, you now direct that he should quickly go and start performing practices as the monarch, and at the same time simultaneously issuing order of arrest to His Highness the Emir of Kano, Bayero. Now, it is in that context, Bayero now requested for protection of the fundamental rights, for self-protection, for self-defense, and for giving him the adequacy of security, which under Section 14, subsection 2, security is the most primary responsibility of the government. And under Section 214 to 218, security is what should be guaranteed to the citizens, and the President and Commander-in-Chief under Section 130 of the Constitution, and under Section 153, and under Section 214 to 218, has the responsibility to restore law and order. Therefore, my take is that if the brouhaha continues like this, then definitely the President will be compelled to invoke state of emergency so as to bring about stability, civility, order, decorum, and sanity in the affairs of Kano as it is going on currently.
All right. Thank you so much, Alhaji Kogo Umar. I don't know where you were when former Governor Ganduje also did something similar. In this case, he flouted court orders to remain status quo in the creation of the 4 emirates.
Yes.
And all the,
yes.
the sections of the law you're quoting might have applied to him. So would you not say that the current governor is following in the footsteps of former Governor Ganduje in terms of respect of the rule of law, going back to status quo, saying that things weren't done properly in the first instance? I don't know if he also spoke against that when that happened as well.
The Holy Bible is unambiguously clear. Vanity upon vanity is all vanity. What Ganduje did is clearly, crystally wrong. It is clearly, crystally wrong, and it shouldn't be the basis for this one to duplicate what Ganduje did. What Ganduje did should have been followed commensurately with the appropriate sanction as provided by the laws of the land. So it is not an excuse, the fact that somebody
So if it was wrong, if as you've admitted, his actions were wrong, shouldn't this governor then correct the wrongs of the previous administration, at least in the interim? Because if the current Emir of Kano became the Emir through a wrong process, as you've alluded to, shouldn't that be corrected under this administration as well?
The concerned people that are interested in that matter should have challenged it ab initio when the matter happened. There is what in law we call sleeping over your rights. If you sleep over your right, there is time frame for everything. You understand? So what I am saying is that the relevant governmental arms and the relevant individuals that are interested in that should have dragged on Ganduje as of that material time and deal with him squarely. Nobody is sacrosanct, nobody is above the law.
But with due respect, it was challenged in court. As at the 1st of December 2021, if my memory serves me, Sanusi won an effect of his fundamental human rights case in court, and it was said that the court said that decision must be reversed. Why didn't Ganduje then obey the court order? In fact, they even also awarded damages at the High Court in Abuja worth 10 million naira. So why didn't Ganduje then obey court orders? And why is it that all of a sudden, the same court order that the military and the police never enforced in this country during the time of Sanusi, all of a sudden, the military and the police, and that's why you see the name of the NSA had been dragged into this anyway, he said that's defamatory. All of a sudden, the military and the police and the commissioner of police, all of a sudden is now trying to enforce a court order, an ex parte order, all of a sudden, that they did not enforce before in other administration. So why all of this pick and choose? That case was won in court by Sanusi.
It is a matter of...
there.
Yes, it's a very simple matter, you understand. It's not a matter of any controversy. Whosoever feel offended by any action should be the one to go to the court and seek redress. Where Ganduje refused to obey the court order, processes should have been followed to get a bench warrant. Should get bench warrant and the necessary remedies that should be getting from the court. So what I am saying is that refusal of Ganduje to follow court order should not be the basis upon which a fresh new legislation should be created. It cannot be a panacea to the misnomer of the Ganduje problem. The Ganduje problem should be followed religiously through the courts, and he should be dealt with accordingly in accordance with the laws of the land. I am in support of the implementation of that court proceedings to the letter. But what I am saying is that compoundation of another offense over the same offense will not give us any headway. But what I'm saying is that Ganduje may be wrong, but that should be followed religiously, strictly in accordance with the legal regulations we are having, so that court bench warrant should be proceeded against him. He should be arrested and be dealt with for not for flouting the court order. But the fact that those that are concerned did not call for the enforcement of that, then they have slept over their rights. And these people that are concerned now decided that they want their own rights to be guaranteed. And that is the reason why they requested for the presence of the security to give them the cover.
Okay. Mainasara, I hear you very well. I get your point about people sleeping on their rights. The principle in law is that equity does not aid the indolent. But you have made certain submissions. You said there must have been a public hearing. You recall, in 2019-2020, there was no public hearing in terms of, the purported removal at that time, or the removal at that time of the 14th Emir. And secondly, there was also nothing about 3 candidates. So, but you are recommending procedure to the Abba Yusuf administration that is just trying to correct a wrong that he and others think may have been committed. However, how they have gone about it is a matter for debate. But what do you think is the way forward? Now that there is tension in Kano, and we as Nigerians don't want tension in Kano, we don't want crisis in Kano, because Kano traditionally is a very volatile place. What are your recommendations to secure the peace?
Well, number one, it is quietly acknowledged by everybody. Kano is the political thermometer of northern Nigeria, and we cannot allow it to boil below the controllable degree. Now, the way out to this is that we should go back to the position of the court. We should respect the rule of law. We should go back to the position of the court. Restraining order, restraining the implementation of the new legislation should be the sanctity of the position of everybody now. We should go back there and wait until when the decision of the court is determined next week, then we can then go ahead and then see where the pendulum swing based on the judgment of the court. But the fact that in 2014 or any other time, there was no public hearing in the procedure, and there was no selection of 3 candidates, the fact that those that were concerned did not go to the court, that is not an excuse for those that have gone to the court now to say you will deny them the legitimacy of getting the benefit of the court.
Correct that. They went to the court. Yes. They went to the court and they got judgment that time. Let's correct that fact. They went to the court.
You seem to have faith. You seem to have faith in the injunction that was given by Justice Liman's court, and you are saying we should go back to the court. One thing here is that you are dealing with 3 different sections. Just hold on. You are dealing with 3 different sections of the Constitution. Sections 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
The legislature exercising its powers, the governor exercising his executive powers, the judiciary exercising its own powers. Do you see a possibility that the court will be able to establish that injustice has been done by both the executive and the legislature? Is that the direction in which you are going? Can you establish that an injustice, an act of injustice has been committed? Your personal opinion.
The two parties should canvass their positions before the court. And the court under Section 6, as the arbiter of any disagreement, should be the one to bring out the final panacea. That is my take on the matter.
You don't have a personal opinion?
My personal opinion as a lawyer of 3.5 decades standing is based on where the directional compass of the judicature, propels. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let me ask a question with regards to what has been termed as an interference by the federal government with a state matter. What should be a state matter, especially with what has been said of the protection of the outgoing Emir of Kano, according to the new creation of law by the State House of Assembly in Kano State. Do you think that the federal government is complicit in protecting or perhaps interfering in what ought to be a state matter? So this is a delineation of powers now.
No, I think it's a misunderstanding of the whole context that people begin to propel that the federal government interfered. Federal government did not interfere. Federal government is not interested in any of the candidates. The position is that His Highness Emir Aminu Ado Bayero decided to seek for protection. And the police and the military are all under the domain of the federal strata in our own structure. So that is the reason why people are seeing it as if it's a federal. It's because there is no state police, and there is no state military, and there is no state distance. And beside that, the institution that is directed for his arrest is the state government. So that is the reason why he is looking. He is only looking as an individual, bona fide citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, like myself, all of you. Everybody has the right to invoke the power of the state to come and give him security and protection, to come and give him protection of his own rights and liberties and as a citizen. That is just what happened, not that the federal government is interested in any party.
But we all know we live in Nigeria. Let's not talk like it's that easy. The Kano state governor did order his arrest. The commissioner of police went against the Kano state governor. And you're saying there's no federal might in all of this? Really? Yes. How many times can I call for federal might security and they give it to me just like that? Why didn't they give Sanusi? Are you aware, reporters on ground are even reporting that tactically some of the security details, even around where Sanusi is, were withdrawn at some point. And the bulk of the military and the likes are with Ado Bayero. So you're saying the federal is not involved? I mean, let's stop playing all of these games. Secondly, does even the Federal High Court have jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters? That's another question. Let's talk about that. You want them to listen to the Federal High Court? They have jurisdiction over chieftaincy matter. You're a lawyer. Let's talk about that. Please, enlighten us more.
On the issue of the jurisdiction, you are giving it upside down coinage. The position is that anywhere where any matter is constitutional in nature, it is within the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. That is what has given the Federal High Court the jurisdiction to entertain the matter. It is a matter of constitutional enforcement of fundamental rights. So that is the reason why the federal government is involved. And regarding the issue of why Sanusi was not given the protection and the distance, probably he did not request for it appropriately. That is my take on that.
No. You were saying concerning why Sanusi was not given security. A security battalion,
yes,
followed Ado Bayero from the airport and marched as a show of strength up to where he is, providing security for him. The commissioner of police went against the order of the state governor, now citing that, oh, we will have to listen to the court order in all of this. Went against the, and this is even a classical call for state police, went against the order of the governor to arrest Ado Bayero. And you are saying the government is not involved in all of this?
No, the institutions I am telling you that are responsible for that, under section 214 to 216 is the Nigerian police. And where it overwhelms the police capacity, then under section 217 to 219, they can invite other security agencies to come and assist them. What I am saying is that, in as much as Emir Aminu Ado Bayero is given such a security protection you are talking about, the same thing if Sanusi Lamido, even today if he requests, he will be accorded the same treatment as a bona fide citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it is not in any way discriminatory against anybody.
That they have to bring in the military to protect Ado Bayero. Has the police been overwhelmed? Has there been any reported breakdown of law and order? Has the police been overwhelmed?
Earlier on, we talked about the vulnerability of Kano as a political boiling point of the politics of northern Nigeria, and by extension, the Federation of Nigeria. Police are not supposed to be allowed to take chances until something happens. They are supposed to be proactive. In fact, they need to be commended for being proactive, for maintaining peace, stability, and decorum in Kano up to this moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Mainasara, Kogo, Umar. We'll keep a watching brief on developments in Kano. Our interest is that this situation.
It's always my pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Thank you very much.